To another video here by the Vancouver Tokyo Man on this channel, but I also have a Tokyo Real Estate Man channel, and I work with former fists, the great former fists, on another channel called Smart Property Japan, which has really the best content I've been creating really since I started. Anyhow, in today's video here, as we always talk about on Smart Property Japan, I want to show you, this is a satellite picture of Vancouver in Kitsilano, which is a very wealthy neighborhood here in Vancouver. And we can see here by the sort of land use here in the aerial picture. I guess we can zoom up here so you know exactly where it is in Vancouver. You see there's the ocean right there. So this is a pretty well-to-do neighborhood, no question about it. And there we have our picture of Vancouver, Kitsilano right there. And I, of course, live here to the right here in downtown Vancouver. And in order to, here in Vancouver, as everyone knows right now, we have what's known as a housing crisis. And I lived in Tokyo for 30 years, and I still live in Tokyo. And just here, I'm going to zoom on up here a little bit. This is the Toyoko line in Meguro, and this area is between a very popular station here. To the top is the Nakamega. We'll zoom up and you'll be able to see what the stations are. This is Nakameguro station right here, where it crosses this Kyuyamate-dori right here, this road in the very top portion of the picture. And here, just so that it'll just be out of the screen, is Utenji station. And I think this is a very accurate comparison. Both are very popular neighborhoods in Vancouver and Tokyo, respectively. Now, the population of Tokyo right now is decreasing. Not Tokyo, excuse me. The population of Japan is decreasing on an aggregate level. However, the most popular wards in Tokyo right now, they're increasing and they're becoming more densified. But in Tokyo, we don't have a housing crisis as we do here in Vancouver. For example, for this apartment, which I own here in downtown Vancouver, if I was to put up an ad listing for this apartment for, let's say, $2,400 a month, I think or maybe that's a little pushing it. I think if I had an ad for $2,280 or $2,300 for a rental, probably by the end of the day I might have as much as 100 emails. And I have several apartments in this neighborhood, and I would get mails about my rentals when I have them open, but I wouldn't get 20 to 40 by the end of the day. I might have like 4 or 5 during the week inquiries about them. So there is definitely rental demand in Tokyo, but nowhere near that of what you see here in Vancouver. Now, when I move here closer into Kitsilano, okay, and we're going to establish the land use difference, and it's not really showing yet, but as we get in here closer to right about this level, the first hints of the difference is going to become clear. And at the same time here in Tokyo, let's pop on in here into the neighborhoods. Are you seeing? The hint is going to be in the color, okay? And you see here there's a very lack of green space. And we come here to Vancouver and we see more and more green space as we move on in closer to the neighborhoods. You see the green space right there, and you see as we move in here, there's still green space. I mean, Japanese people, we love our trees and stuff like that, but there's just less green space. But that's not the only thing. So I want to, as we we'll come in closer to the street, okay, here in Vancouver, and I guess I can place this here onto what looks to be West 5th Avenue right there. If I can click onto there, and that'll bring me into the street view right there into Vancouver, and we'll pivot right to this view right here, and I'll try to do the same thing here in the Tokyo view. I guess we could just slightly move the map down here closer to, that's Utenji Station right there, I guess, or Meguro Station. Am I going that close to it? Yeah, and that'll bring me into the street view right there. And right here, this is a great place to have a look. You see that there's a car here driving down the street, and you can see here, we'll go up the street here. There's a car here parked this one is not parked on the street. This is parked here at this house. And for some reason, I come to this one place where there is like this car is not illegally parked, but this could not be permanently parked there. Uh, this if this was parked there for, let's say, more than 2 or 3 hours, the ticketing guys who always come by on bikes would give it a ticket. So there's no street parking in Tokyo. The parking, before you even buy a car, you must demonstrate that you have a parking spot in your house. This is Sagawa. This is the delivery company in Japan, and I guess this must be like in the AM, around 10 a.m. And you see that these cars are parked within the buildings. Okay, and there's another bike there as well. But you see that there's no accommodation here for street parking. You see a bike there, and you see here, this is a sidewalk in Tokyo. This white line here, and the area between, this is private. This would be considered private property right here, and this is public property, and this is the sidewalk. And here, well, this might be like a popular route to go to school for kids, and then often for the routes that go to school where the kids are walking to school, they'll have these sort of steel handrails that create protection. But you see that the street space and the sidewalk space is much more cooperative sort of setup, or as you say in Japanese, katachi. Now let's go here, pop over here to the Vancouver Mall. Now, here you have a house, you have a lot of green space in the yard, you have a very big sidewalk, and you have street parking, and you have the actual usage of the street is the same as Tokyo. Okay, but you have this huge amount of land that's between. In Tokyo, there would actually be no sidewalk, no yard, and no street parking, and that would allow for another house, and that would be on both sides. Okay, so let's continue down the street a little bit here. You do see some green space here, though. For like, and the green space is just like in this old house. This is a very old house, I guess here. Yeah, it's an old house, and you see some green space in there, but definitely in the sort of newer houses, you don't see that sort of. This is like a rental apartment, right? A rental apartment, and there's a place to put bikes. But you see that the sidewalk space is shared with the street. So the message that you can get from that is, until Vancouver gets rid of this green space, sidewalk space, and street parking, the housing crisis here will not end. And anything that the politicians or the lead civil servants, anything they tell you is in essence a lie, and there's nothing they can do. And to physically change this environment, as we pop up here to the aerial shot again, for this Vancouver land usage to become, we'll pop up here to the Tokyo view here in Meguro. I think this could take as much as 50 to 100 years to change. So if you're here in Vancouver and you're working and you don't own one of these houses outright, or even an apartment unit, your labor to base real estate asset ratio will continually to outstrip you until this land usage arrangement changes. And that basically what that means is that you have to cut out this yard on both sides, on the front and the back. And look at the alley use. This alley would also be houses. So until you have to get rid of the yards, you have to get rid of the sidewalks, you have to get rid of the street parking, and you have to repurpose the alleys into streets, and you have to start to build houses here, which is happening. This is happening because there is the laneway houses that are coming here to Vancouver. But until this arrangement changes, your labor and your ability to save and purchase one of these sort of real estate assets will constantly outstrip you. And I think that you have to make plans to move. And I don't like to say that, but that's just it's just the reality, unfortunately. And this is another video here from the Vancouver Tokyo Man, the Tokyo real estate man, or Smart Property Japan. And I invite you to follow all three of those channels. Thank you very much.